in 13 states. Our newscast this hour is being brought to you by the J&J Spratt Funeral Home in New Brighton.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Sunny, hot, and humid today will reach a high near 90. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight. Otherwise, partly cloudy. We'll see a low around 68. Mostly sunny tomorrow with showers and thunderstorms likely in the afternoon. Look for a high near 88 and an overnight low around 70. And we'll see some sunshine on Friday with afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll reach a high in the upper 80s and a low of 68. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by the PIAA and the Pennsylvania State Athletic Directors Association.
Here's Dale Reckless from MRS Physical Therapy as he explains the importance of pre-sports testing to help you reduce the risk of injury.
The intrinsic factors are looking at things within our body that could be causing the problem. So that we start to look at as physical therapists, shoulder range of motion, forces at the elbow, things like that. We're looking at the whole kinetic chain. For example, turning your head side to side. If you have less than 39 degrees of that motion, you have a 9 times increased likelihood of an injury. So these intrinsic factors are both measurable and modifiable. So as a physical therapist, I can take a baseball player or any kind of athlete, I can do my tests on them and see if they're within normal limits or outside of normal limits. And based on research that's been done, I can tell if there's a likelihood of injury or not.
If you need physical therapy for any reason, choose the place your friends and neighbors do. MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater and Cranberry. Visit mrsphysicaltherapy.com.
On this Wednesday, July the 31st of 2024, at 11 minutes past 9, we've got a temperature of 76 degrees with sunny skies in Beaver County. That's news. I'm Curtis Walsh on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Teleforum is on the air on Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. The show is presented by East Rochester and Tuska Shop and Saves. And now, here is the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
It's 11 minutes after 9 o'clock. Got all the technical issues sorted out. Turns out it was the plate in my head. Should have looked there first. Do me a favor, Dan. Get that microphone as close to your face as we can. I want to make sure everybody hears you because I'm leaning on you hard today. Welcome to Teleforum. The first hour will have nothing to do with the angst and the ranting and the lunatic fringe that we all seem to live in. It's going to be something uplifting. And you've listened to this program. I don't do uplifting, so Dan's here. Dan Duramo, the Knights of Columbus Beaver Valley chapter, immediate past president. Well, are you going for the longest business card or what?
Someone add a few more words to that title.
What is that title?
Well, I have turned over the presidency to Mr. Eric Schrift, so I completed one term, and I'll stay on to be an advisor and help as much as possible.
Okay. What is the Knights of Columbus?
The Knights of Columbus is a Catholic organization. It was founded back in 1852 by Father Michael McGivney, and the purpose of him forming the Knights of Columbus back then was to help widows and the poor people. So that's basically it. Right now, as of today, our focus is on charity, unity, and fraternity. We have 4 basic programs, and the programs are faith, family, community, and life.
Is that a tougher sell these days than 50 years ago? I'm going to talk about the event in a second. It's the 275th anniversary outdoor celebration of the first Mass in the Beaver Valley. Is that right?
Right. It's the 275th anniversary, the birth of Christianity in Beaver Valley.
Really?
Yes.
There was nothing else? There were no other Christian sects? The Methodists hadn't showed up?
I can go into the story in a little bit.
Okay.
If you like, yeah.
All right, Dan Dorimo is my guest. This is being live streamed on Facebook. And why do you do this? Why? What drew you to Knights of Columbus? I want to get some background.
Yeah, I've been a Knight for well over 40 years. I grew up in Midland, PA, and my dad was part of the Knights, and there was a good group of men just helping out the community, the parish, and I just wanted to be a part of that here. I did drift away at some point because my career, my job took me away quite a bit, but since retiring, basically, I've become a little more active here.
What was your job, John?
I worked for the Pittsburgh Press and Post-Gazette here.
You were a media scum?
I was a media
So you got out
scum.
early
Yeah.
enough to scrub it off. Well,
Yeah, I got out when things were different and things
Okay.
were good. I know it's a lot different today. But
Do you miss it?
I do.
Because that
I
ink-stained
do.
wretch thing,
Yeah,
right?
you know what? Yeah, there were challenging times, and media and advertising and marketing is not what it used to be. So it's a lot different. I ushered in the digital age, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So print is not what it used to be. Of course, it's fading away. And yes, I do miss it.
You miss, and just media geek to media geek for a second, because you understand this. There is a sense of unity and camaraderie, and the good being for the bigger rather than an individual. Is it similar with Knights of Columbus?
It pretty much is. Our focus is for the good of the whole, the parish, and the community, and helping people as much as possible. And it just makes it worthwhile for me to be a part of the Knights of Columbus, to be a knight.
Do you start out as a squire and work your way up?
No.
I'm not being facetious. A page?
Well, you can. I believe that there are squires in other parts of the country, possibly, but here
page, squire, knight.
Right.
Oh my goodness! Explain the first Mass. It's the 275th anniversary.
Right. And
I live right across the street from Old Economy Village, and I thought that's a pretty cool history. I knew nothing about masses happening for 275 years.
Well, I learned a lot in this past year as president of the Beaver Valley chapter of the Knights of Columbus there, in particular this Mass, because I drove up and down 65 for a good number of years, and I didn't realize what actually took place 275 years ago. During the early 1700s, the Ohio Valley, as you all know, was a strategic frontier. And in the face of growing British encroachment, the French wanted to reassert territorial claims and strengthen alliances with Native Americans in this valley. Pierre-Joseph Celeron, a French military officer, was tasked to do so. With him on this expedition through the Ohio Valley was Father Joseph Pierre de Bonnicamps, a Jesuit priest. And their journey took them through present-day Beaver County. And in the Indian village near Logstown,
Where's Logstown?
Logstown is near Ambridge Economy in that area.
Really?
Yeah, and August 9th, 1749, the first Christian Mass, Catholic Mass, was celebrated. Now, let me back up. I said that I drove up and down 65 quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And if you're familiar with that stretch of road, you know where Sheetz gas station is. And
right by the Aldi, right before you get to Baden.
Right, and Catty Corner, there's another gas station.
Yeah.
Well, on the opposite side, there's a little cemetery.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
I notice it. If the light catches me,
right,
coming back, I notice it every day. Wrought iron fence?
It's open.
Oh, is it?
It's wide open. But thereabouts is where the first Catholic Mass took place. And I didn't realize that until this past year.
And you drove by it every day?
Yeah, I used to twice a day for a good many years. Didn't realize that the cemetery was there, and didn't realize what actually took place there nearly 275 years ago.
Did you feel bad that you didn't know, or did you feel good that you learned it?
Well, I think probably a little both.
Was it? Okay. Because I just thought when you told me that, it's like, oh, I see it
right,
twice.
Right.
Now I know. I'm talking to Dan Duramo. He is the Knights of Columbus Beaver County Chapter immediate past president. I want to ask you a philosophical question. Do we know the history like we should know the history of our communities?
I don't believe so. I don't know where anything like that was taught or is taught.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I stumbled across it in my role as Beaver Valley Chapter President here. Otherwise, I would have had no clue. And maybe I was sort of a little out of touch 25 years ago when they last celebrated the anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
But in doing research, I came across a lot of names and a lot of people that I remember from years ago.
Names that you remember growing up around?
Right, Knights of
Okay.
Columbus,
Okay.
movers and shakers, if you will, in the Beaver Valley chapter, especially in my hometown of Midland, PA, that really got behind the anniversary and made it a huge, huge celebration. Will it match that scale? I don't know, but we're going to do everything we can. We are doing everything we can to make it a beautiful experience.
When, what day, what time, where is it? Just logistics right now.
Sure. It will take place next Friday, August 9th at 6 o'clock. It will be held at Ambridge Park. Now, let me explain that. This Ambridge Park is along Route 65. If you know where the Do It Best is in Ambridge, Frank Strano's Do It Best hardware store.
It is where the farmers market is every Thursday.
Correct. Now, that takes place in the St. Mary Byzantine Church parking lot. As you drive towards the red light, towards the bridge, you'll see a pavilion. The Mass will take place inside that pavilion.
You can't miss it.
You can't.
It's a big pavilion.
Right. Now, also, too, as you get close to that corner, 25 years ago, the Knights erected a monument there dedicated to the first Mass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A year ago, it was completely hidden behind pine trees. It was not noticeable at all.
That
Now,
stretch, I know that stretch of pine trees.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm going to give a couple people plugs here right
Sure.
now, because when I approached Mario Leone and the Ambridge Borough, I said, hey, Mario, we would like to stop by and take those pine trees down that's hiding the monument. He said, no problem. But the next thing that I knew is that he and his borough had the pine trees taken down.
He took care of it for you.
He took care of it for us. It was huge. So now it was visible, but after 25 years being buried behind pine trees, it was marked, stained, and I reached out to Vince Diaguardi from Rome Monuments,
Mm-hmm.
and he offered to clean it up. So he did that maybe 2 months ago. So we're grateful to Rome Monument and Mario and the Borough of Ambridge.
I live in Ambridge, and I've lived there 11 years. It gets better every single year. And stories like what you just told me are why.
Yeah, and a lot of that credit, I believe, goes to Mario Leone.
Mm-hmm. Does he's, well, maybe I'll ask that later. I'm talking to Dan Duramo because I know Mario, and I think he does an absolutely killer job. But you're the Knights of Columbus Beaver Valley Chapter immediate past president.
And you don't have to say that every time. But
That's okay. What if somebody's just tuning in?
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Okay. Fair
somebody
enough.
says,
Fair
who's this
enough.
idiot crow annoying with these jackass questions?
Okay. All right.
Does it mean as much to you now? You said you've been involved in Knights of Columbus 40 years. Does it mean more?
Well, you know what? Here's my opinion, and I share this with someone that was considering stepping up into that role, and I have always believed this here. I had a plaque in my office while I was at the Press and Post Gazette that leadership is not a title, it's action, okay? So I'm not doing it for the title. I believe if you belong to an organization, whether it's at the council level, at this level here, that it's important to be active and involved. And that's the only way you're going to recruit people and get people engaged and grow. So that was my focus this past year. I stepped into the role with 3 things that I wanted to do, okay? I didn't realize that this was going to be on my plate.
They got written on your list, too.
But I was able to accomplish other things, too. And I'm not here to pat myself on the back, but years ago we saw a performance of The Passion. We were blessed to be able to travel to Germany, and we saw The Passion play in Oberammergau. And I came back and said, why does something like this not take place in Beaver Valley? And I reached out to a number of organizations, and then I had a conversation with Father Howard here at St. Peter and Paul, and he directed me to a gentleman, Bob Summers, who used to put on his production. So we were able to bring The Passion play back to Beaver Valley. It was held at St. Peter and Paul Sunday or the week before Easter this past year. So, and on a fun level, we've gone to Pirate games as a group, but I've heard this from many councils that the numbers kept dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. So I thought maybe at a chapter-wide level that we would have enough interest from Knights to attend a Pirates game, and we did so a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And we had nearly 50 Knights there.
Oh, wow.
And
No,
family
that's
and friends.
that's plenty.
Yeah. So, once again, the focus was to be engaged, to be active, and get people involved, and give people a reason to want to be a Knight here. Not only that, at the council level, and if I'm rambling, just
hey, the longer you talk, the less they have to
talk.
the less they have to listen to me.
Okay,
That's a win-win, Dan.
Yeah, we launched a couple programs in Hopewell Township. One was Coats for Hopewell Kids, providing coats to needy kids, and things like that are feel-good programs for me. I think it makes it worthwhile to be a Knight and just be a decent person there.
If you're watching this on the Facebook feed, you could see it. Dan got a little bit emotional. That's why I'm going to have fun talking to him more after the break. Dan Duramo is my guest. Curtis Walsh with News Next. It's Teleforum on Beaver County Radio.
It's summer, and that means it's time to get going and enjoy the warm weather. If you're inclined to enjoy the outdoors and have a good time, your truck is your lifeline to towing recreational vehicles, campers, boats, and carrying jet skis, fishing gear, and suitcases. The folks at Moon Township Ford know that for families that like to travel and vacation, the Ford F-150 truck is the vehicle for you. Get a 2024 Ford F-150 XL with 0% APR financing for 36 months. No matter where your summer vacation takes you, you can be sure that a Ford F-150 from Moon Township Ford will make your adventure much more fun. No wonder that it's the most popular vehicle sold in the U.S. Ford's F-150 is the quintessential American truck to celebrate all of the summer holidays. Get going now to Moon Township Ford's showroom on University Boulevard across from Robert Morris.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Let's face it, work is a large part of your life. Why not choose a job that allows the opportunity of a fulfilling career working with people who appreciate you? St. Barnabas Health System is looking for extraordinary, service-minded people to join our team. Earn and learn with career opportunities on our clinical, housekeeping, and food service teams. For more information and to apply, visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-444-JOBS. Jobs that are apart from the ordinary. Find them at St. Barnabas Health System.
Do you have a loved one who has faced a nursing home crisis and been forced to spend down their life savings? Do you worry for yourself or a loved one overspending what you took a lifetime to earn on long-term health care costs? Has a family member's home been recovered by the state after receiving Medicaid benefits rather than being able to leave that home as an inheritance? Have you ever been told that you were too late to protect your assets from long-term care or there was nothing you can do? If you answered yes to any of these, you owe it to yourself and your family to speak with a specialist who helps families with these fears every day. Matt Snyder is certified as an elder law attorney by the National Elder Law Foundation as authorized by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. At Snyder Elder Law and Estate Planning, they educate families and help maximize what assets they can preserve from these risks. Whether you are looking to proactively protect yourself for the future or you know of someone who is actively facing a nursing home spend-down crisis, they can help you navigate these difficult and highly stressful situations. You are not alone. Give Snyder Elder Law and Estate Planning a call today to schedule a complimentary consultation at 724-777-5288. They'll come to you and meet in the comfort of your own home and surroundings.
The warm weather is back, and that can only mean one thing. Pirates baseball for a 76th season is on Beaver County Radio. Make sure you set your radio dial to WBVP and 99.3 FM. Pirate baseball is being presented locally by the St. Barnabas Health System, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, Keystone Wellness Program, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Town Square Restaurant, and Beaver County Radio.
When accidents and injuries happen, you need the experience and insight of the legal team at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. At Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, they have the resources available to see your case from start to finish. Attorney Larry Kelly.
You know, at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, we're big boys. We assume all the costs, and we don't expect you to pay a penny. Now, what happens is, if you go to trial and the verdict is not favorable, you don't owe us any fees, nor do you reimburse us the cost. Now, if we're successful, then you'll pay a fee and you'll reimburse us the cost from the recovery. That's the way we do it at LGKG, and that's the way we've done it forever.
For your initial consultation, call the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George at 724-658-8535 or online at lgkg.com. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, keeping promises for over 80 years.
Beaver County Radio, your hometown radio station. You're listening live from the Fry Transportation Studios. Beaver County Radio and Fry Transportation, proud to call Beaver County home.
Do you like sports? Then tune in every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Pasquale. Brian is loaded with statistics and interesting sports viewpoints. The show can also be seen on the WBVP-WNBA Facebook page. Plus, Brian will be taking your calls as well. That's One Man's Opinion on Sports with Brian Pasquale. Every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. on Beaver County Radio. Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM. Along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com. Here's Curtis Walsh.
Good morning on this Wednesday, July the 31st of 2024. We can expect sunny skies today, reaching a high of about 91 degrees. There is a slight chance of a thunderstorm later on tonight. We'll have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. As part of the $600 million class action settlement for those who live near East Palestine, you could now get up to $25,000 apiece for any injuries sustained after last year's train derailment. The lawyers who negotiated the deal have increased the estimated injury payment from the original $10,000 after learning more about how many claims there will be. For East Palestine residents who worry about the possibility of developing cancer down the road, even $25,000 may not seem like enough. But one of the plaintiff's attorneys, Adam Gomez, said anyone who thinks they might file their own lawsuit later should consider how hard it could be to prove that cancer was caused by the derailment. Patterson Heights Volunteer Fire Department responded to the scene of a single-vehicle accident on Route 51 last night. A Spider-style vehicle struck a pole, causing the pole to split and fall. No injuries were reported. Patterson Township and Chippewa Township Fire Departments responded to the scene as well. Vitalant is urging all eligible blood donors to make an appointment to give now for the coming days and weeks ahead to boost the blood supply for patients in need. All who donate until August 29th will receive a $10 gift card through Donor Rewards and be entered into the $10,000 grocery giveaway. Vitalant will hold blood drives in Beaver on August 17th, Darlington Township on August 19th, and Monaca on August 29th. An Aliquippa man was arrested during a traffic stop by state police. Matthew Afaw, age 37, was stopped on Constitution Boulevard Thursday evening for traffic violations. State police say that during the traffic stop, the driver was found to be in possession of drug paraphernalia, and no further information was provided by the state police. The FBI says former President Donald Trump has agreed to be interviewed as part of its investigation into his attempted assassination. A special agent said Monday the expected interview with the 2024 Republican presidential nominee is part of the FBI's standard protocol to speak with victims of federal crimes during investigations. The FBI says Trump was struck by a bullet or bullet fragment during the July 13th assassination attempt at a campaign rally in Butler. The FBI disclosed the planned conversation with Trump as it revealed new details about the gunman, including internet searches that reveal an interest in mass shootings and the attempted assassination this year of Slovakia's prime minister. The owners of 12 Pennsylvania casinos are asking the state's highest court to declare that a tax on slot machine revenue is unconstitutional because the state doesn't impose it broadly on cash-paying electronic game terminals known as skill games that can be found in many bars and stores. The lawsuit filed Monday could endanger a tax that delivers more than $1 billion annually to the state and local governments for property tax rebates and economic development projects. The lawsuit asks the court to force the state to either apply the same tax rate to skill games or to bar it from collecting taxes on slot machines. And wildfire smoke may be worse for your brain health than other air pollution. New research links it to an increased risk of dementia. The findings come as millions spent the weekend under air quality warnings from wildfires spewing smoke across the western U.S. Researchers tracked 10 years of health records from older adults in California, along with their long-term exposure to tiny pollution particles. The odds of a dementia diagnosis were higher with exposure to wildfire particles than from other sources of that pollution. The report came Monday at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference in Philadelphia.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Sunny, hot, and humid today will reach a high near 90. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight. Otherwise, partly cloudy. We'll see a low around 68. Mostly sunny tomorrow with showers and thunderstorms likely in the afternoon. Look for a high near 88 and an overnight low around 70. And we'll see some sunshine on Friday with afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll reach a high in the upper 80s and a low of 68. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Wednesday, July the 31st of 2024, at 36 minutes past 9, we've got a temperature of 77 degrees with sunny skies in Beaver County. That's news. I'm Curtis Walsh on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Talk about what's happening in Beaver County or around the world on Teleforum. 724-843-1888. 724-774-1888. It's Teleforum with Eddie Crow.
It is Teleforum, and it's much better than usual because I'm having a wonderful conversation with a person that believes in human decency. Did I sum up the it's looking around? Dan Duramo is my guest. Your title, Knights of Columbus, Beaver County Chapter, immediate past president. But your goal here today is to let everybody know about the event that's coming up. It's not just one mass. It doesn't sound like, forgive me, I didn't grow up Catholic. I don't know how this works. Walk me through this.
Sure. Well, I'm not sure I understand your question.
I don't understand my question either. Just explain how it works.
It will be one mass. No,
it is one mass, but multiple preachers, priests?
Exactly, yeah. Let me start from the beginning. When making my rounds, visiting all the council in my previous role, I visited the Midland Council, and I told them about the upcoming anniversary mass. And there was a gentleman there, Tom Ledgerwood, a knight, who said maybe we're thinking too small. Maybe we should ask the bishop to be a part of this. So I reached out to the Diocese of Pittsburgh and made contact with Bishop David Zubik, and he said, absolutely. Now,
how do you call a bishop? Does he take your calls, or does the secretary say that there's steps?
There's a number of layers. But you know, the only time that I actually conversed with him or exchanged a message directly, the answer came through his assistant. But later on, I can't remember what the occasion was here. I reached out to make sure he was on board with the Mass, and he replied directly, yes, he will be there. Now, you may be well aware of this. Bishop David Zubik is from Ambridge, so he's coming back to his hometown.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's where it all began. And then when I made connection with the diocese, there's a lot of hoops to jump through, a lot of prep work that needed to be done. So that fell back on the chapter. But we have a good team here, and I'd like to acknowledge the committee members: Tom Ledgerwood from Midland Council 2005, John Hummel from Father James Reed Council here, Rochester / Beaver. There's also Jason Rayner is the Grand Knight in Ambridge. He's playing a key role in this too. Ralph Lara from St. Joseph the Worker Council, and also Joe DePace from Trinity Council, which is Center Township. So there's a good group of people pulling this off, making this happen. So we had to reach out to see who will want to be a part of this, who would want to be a part of this. And at this point now, we have 10 concelebrants. We have the pastor from...
Concelebrant?
Well, concelebrants...
I want to use that word in a sentence. What does it mean? People showing up to celebrate?
Someone helping to celebrate the Mass. Concelebrants. The concelebrant is the pastor of the home parish, Good Samaritan. Mm-hmm. Also the pastor of Mary Queen of Saints Parish, and also the pastor of Father Kim Schreck here in Chippewa Township / Beaver Falls. So it's Joseph Carr from Ambridge, St. Luke the Evangelist Parish, Father Kenice McMullen from Mary Queen of Saints Parish. There's also a priest, Father Chris Manarino from Ambridge Good Samaritan / St. Luke, and we also have 6 deacons. So there are 10 people celebrating the Mass with Bishop Zubik.
How long did it take to put this together? This is done, what'd you say, once every 25 years? This is the 275th.
Right. Well, as I said, when I said, I'll step up into the role of president of the chapter, I didn't realize this was going to fall on my plate. So it's taken in various shapes and forms and levels of effort up until last September or so, to put all the different pieces together. What I was told by the diocese is that it was not going to be easy to have an outdoor Mass. We could have taken the easy way out and had the service inside a church instead of converting a pavilion into a sanctuary, coming up with a sound system to address the noise on 65 and arrange seating here. But, I just felt, and there were others that felt too, that the right thing to do this time was have an outdoor Mass. The first Mass was celebrated outdoor, so let's stay true to the first Mass as much as possible, and that's why we're focused on having this Mass at Ambridge Park in the pavilion here.
In the big pavilion,
right,
behind the hardware store,
right, where
the farmers market happens.
Right. That'll be the parking, and the pavilion is on 8th Street and Park Road. I believe right behind that building, there used to be the Ambridge School Administration building here. So it's right across from there here. So, but, it's been a process. It's been a process, but a worthwhile process. Well, we heard from those people, too, that said that it was not going to be easy. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a lot of work. Every single one said, but it will be beautiful. And, I'll take that a step further here. This could be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for the people of Beaver Valley, or it could be the start of a new tradition. So,
could be both.
Could be both.
Dan Duramo is my guest. We're talking about the outdoor celebration. Tell people the date again.
It's August 9th, a week from this coming Friday at 6 o'clock.
That's, how does one become, you used the term, a knight, but somebody like a higher up knight?
Well, there's...
One of the people you referenced wasn't just a knight. He was like a grand poobah knight.
Yeah, he was a grand knight. Yeah.
How do you get that gig? How do you move up?
You step into it if no one else wants it. Okay.
So if nobody claims the title Grand
right,
Knight,
right. Well, every
you
council has officers, and the top officer of each council is the Grand Knight. Then there's a deputy Grand Knight, financial secretary, treasurer, inside board and outside guard, et cetera, here. So the elections take place in around June or so, and the term, I believe, starts in July of that year and runs for 12 months.
and I'm not making light of this. It sounds like D. Millay. Have you ever heard of that?
I don't think so.
Master Inquisitor, Junior, Youth Mason organization.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure. You know, and that's why I wanted to start off on a note on talking about the Knights and what the Knights are, because I've had people say, well, you're like the Masons. Well, in a way, we are, but different. Okay. We're a Catholic organization here, but we do charitable work, and our charitable work is not limited just for the benefit of Catholics.
Do people assume that because it's a Catholic organization?
We've heard that in the past.
Yeah.
We've heard that in the past. So, yeah, and that's why I wanted to address that at the very beginning here.
My guest is talking about the outdoor celebration. Do you feel like you have... I love the fact that I'm talking to a media person and I can ask goofy, obtuse questions because I know what your previous world was. Do you feel more connected to the present by celebrating the past?
I think so. I think so. I think we can learn from the past, and I believe that it's important to keep tradition alive and pass it down to the next generation. Will the celebration be at the same level as it was 25, 50 years ago? I don't think so. I really don't think so. But we will celebrate it here in our own way.
Why do you think it might not be? I got a feeling it's going to be bigger than 25 years ago.
I really hope so. But like everything in life and organizations, things change. I don't believe people are active in organizations as much today as they were 25, 50 years ago. What we hear from a lot of young people is that they lead a busier lifestyle. Their schedules are fuller, and they don't have time to belong to outside organizations. So, how much truth is there to that? I don't know. And my comeback was, listen, it wasn't really much different for me and many others that I grew up with here. I never put in a 40-hour week. If you're in media, you know exactly what I'm saying. I never had a 9-to-5 job 5 days a week. I very rarely put in 40 hours. It was 50 hours plus. But yet I found time to be involved in the community and contribute to the parish and community in ways outside that I was able to outside of work.
Is it fair to say if it means enough to you, you'll find time to do it?
I think so. Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly here. Yeah, if it means enough to you, you will find time there. And there were times, as I said, too, my job took me away to different cities. Here I was on the road, not only locally, but across the country, where I was not as active in the Knights of Columbus as I am today. Being retired does make a big difference.
Sure.
So it fills up my time, but it fills up my time in a worthwhile way.
I'm going to ask you a media question. For people that don't know, your job that you retired from, media. So that instantly forms this weird symbiotic twins making up their own language thing because, this guy, that guy. Weirdest assignment that you ever had to go on the road for, and worst city that you ever had to go cover something? It might be the same place.
Yeah, you know what? And it might not be any place here. I know I traveled to New York City a number of times, Chicago. I was down south here in the Florida area. I loved each and every city. Every city is different in its own way, but I'm coming back to Pittsburgh. After traveling to all those cities, I said Pittsburgh is the right size city for me. It has everything that you would need in a big city, and it's small enough and personal enough and friendly enough here. So,
well, you have been wonderful. Dan Duramo, a week from Friday.
Right.
At the pavilion along 65.
Right.
But I'll bet you a nickel that it's going to be huge.
All right. We're hoping so. We're praying so. And I do appreciate this time. And I enjoyed spending this morning with you.
Did I not ask you something that I should have asked you? Did we leave anything out?
I don't think so.
I'm not Catholic. I might still walk down there.
It's open to all. It is open to all. So we're. It is a BYOC. Bring your own chair, but we will have.
Okay. I got lawn
it's going to
chairs.
be outside.
I'm good.
Yeah, and but we will have folding chairs for those that don't have chairs or cannot bring their own chair. So we'll have those people covered.
You're welcome to come back here and talk anytime.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, and thank Frank and thank everyone at the station.
Absolutely. All right. Cacophony starts here in about 11 minutes.
The best of Beaver County is easy to discover. It's right here on your radio.